start on the ground with some breathing. And while you, and I know I always take this time because to me, it's one of the most important times in class where you take some time to connect with your breath and your body, and you notice how you're feeling. And so just as you settle in to your breath and your body, I encourage you, you all see this all the time, I like to put the hands on the body so that as you're breathing in, you can feel that your breath is making its way all the way down your torso. So long, smooth breaths, breathing with your whole body, because not only is it working the muscles of the pelvic floor and the diaphragm, right? It's like an internal massage. And then as we start moving, the possibility of still breathing with your whole body is there. So see if you can keep your breath long and smooth no matter what we do in our class today, okay? So once you're connected to your breath, and it doesn't matter how you're sitting on the ground, we're going to focus a lot on the head, neck, and shoulders today, though don't worry, we will work all of the parts of the body. So once you're connected to your breath, you notice how you're feeling and thinking about how you want to feel. And then you set your intention, and we're going to start to move with your breath. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is you're going to just stretch your left arm up towards your ear as you inhale and turn your head to the right. That's inhale, exhale, back to center. So inhale, arm comes up, head turns away from the arm, exhale, back to center. And I'm moving really slowly. You don't have to move as slowly as I am. You move at the rate of your breath. Inhale is up, arm comes up, head turns away from the arm, exhale, back to center. One more time on each side. Nice. Now, after you finish that second side, if you happen to have tennis balls, I want you to grab onto them. And we are going to, so two different ways. My favorite way to do this is you're going to come onto your back body and make sure your hair is not in the way. You're going to place the tennis balls just at the top of the shoulders. Now, when we do this, you're going to keep the spine off of the tennis balls, right? So you're on the muscle part of the body. And then you're going to make your way, and you want to also stay where there's structure. So you stay where the rib cage is, right? You're not going where there's no, like you're not going down towards like your waist area. Okay. Waist, W-A-I-S-T. Okay. Now, you might move your arms, you might move your body. Now, for some of you, that might be a little intense. And so what you might do is take one tennis ball and make your way to a wall and just work that area of the body against the wall, because sometimes it's too much pressure having the two tennis balls and the weight of your body. Okay, so now you're either moving your arms as you're laying down. You can make angel arms or inhaling your arms up overhead. You could just lay there and breathe and let your body soften into the tennis balls. But no matter what, you're still breathing fully, right? Now you could also start to move your back body up so that the tennis balls start to make their way down, you know, deeper into where your rib cage is. But remember, we're not going into the waist area. All right, so, and I know we could probably stay here for some of you a really long time. So take about 30 more seconds to finish up. And then when you're done with that part, you're going to take the tennis balls out and put them off to the side for now. And then we're going to be on our backs with the knees bent, feet about hip width apart. And at first, what I want you to do with your breath is start to tilt. So you press your feet into the floor, tilt the pelvis up on the inhale, exhale, point your pubic bone down towards the floor, right? So you're just moving with your breath. Inhale, lift up, exhale, move down. Long, smooth breaths. Eventually we'll come to a place where you pause for a moment, and then we're going to do that same movement we did with the arms and the head. So the inhale is going to be arm comes up, hips come up, chest comes up, head turns away from the arm. Exhale, head back to center, hips down, arm down, and you're going to alternate sides. Inhale, arm up, hips up, chest up, head turns away from the arm. Exhale, back to center, hips on the ground. Just continue at your own pace, moving with your breath. And if it's too many moves for your body, then you just change it up, make it work for you. One more time on each side. And when you finish, we're going to take the feet off the ground one at a time. So your knees are coming in towards your body. And let's make some nice big circles with your knees a few times in each direction. And then we're going to come to a stop and straighten the legs to the best of our ability. Now, some of you might keep a bent knee, and that's okay. We're going to take the hands onto the thighs. Your feet are flexed. So option would be to have your knees bent, right? And then inhale is going to be when your body and head are on the ground. Exhale, you're going to slide up. Inhale down, exhale, slide up. So you're just moving the upper part of the body. And if it doesn't feel good for your head and neck, you might move through your arms, or you might bring your legs towards your body. Works different muscles, but you're still moving your body. Moving with your breath again. And next time you inhale down, we're going to take the knees in towards the chest and then bring your arms out to the sides. So your feet are still off the floor, the knees are bent. And now you're going to reach the knees towards your right hand. Inhale back to center. Exhale, bring your knees towards your left hand. You're moving side to side with just your knees moving, and of course, everything they're attached to move as well. Moving with your breath. Inhale is center. Exhale to the side. And there's no rush. You're moving at your own pace in a way that works and feels good to your body. And next time you finish your second side, we're going to take the feet down to the ground and then roll over to one side and use your hands to help you come up to a seated position. Yay, everybody's still with me. Now you're going to take your tennis balls again. We're going to go in front. So your butt stays on the ground, right? And you're going to press the tennis ball in towards your pelvis, right? So it's just in front of your sit bones. And you're going to move side to side or front to back. So the idea is that you're loosening up those connectors into the pelvis. And so this helps with people who have really tight hamstrings or tight hips. Nobody has those. None of my people. Okay, so you're still breathing. You're noticing what's happening in your body. Now, when you're done with that part, you're gonna slide the tennis balls out to the sides of your sits bones and just move your legs from side to side into the tennis ball. Or you might like to stay on one side for a while and then move to the second side. And you're still breathing because we have to keep breathing. And you're just noticing as you're making your way around what's happening. Now, before we You're gonna still have your tennis balls on either side of your hips. You're gonna bring the bottoms of the feet together and pull them in towards your groin and then rock from side to side. Yeah, kind of interesting. Now we'll come to a place where we stop. We're gonna take those tennis balls out and we're gonna come up to standing already. Yay, and you're gonna need one tennis ball when we come up. So once you are up, let's just roll those feet for just a moment. Another thing that I could do for a really long time. So if you decide that we don't do this long enough, you can always do it when we're after we're done. So you're feeling all the parts of the foot, adding your body weight. And some of you might say, well, she said head, neck, and shoulders. Like, why are we doing the feet? And my answer is that it's all connected. And when you do your feet and your hands, it affects all of us, right? Like you're stressed out, you roll your feet, feel better. Okay, so hopefully you've switched feet and you've done both. Woo! Luckily there's nobody there. Tennis ball ran away. Okay, so we're gonna put the tennis ball in a safe place where nobody's gonna trip on them. And then let's bring the hands to the heart center. And your feet are gonna be about hip width apart. You're gonna connect to your breath one more time. Now, on the inhale, so here you have the heels of your hands and the fingertips touching, and there's some space in between your palms. And you're just going to inhale, reach your arms up overhead, your feet stay connected to the floor so we're not coming up on the toes. Exhale, hands back to the center. And why do I want you to do this slowly? Because I want you to notice what's happening in your head, neck, and shoulders as you slowly slide those arms up overhead. We're gonna do it one more time. Inhale is up, exhale is down. Then you're gonna pause. You're gonna bring the arms down to the side. Feet are still hip width apart. Now, if it's safe for you, you're gonna come up onto your toes. Inhale, arms up in line with the ears, up onto the toes. Exhale down. Moving again with your breath. Just notice, I can feel it. As soon as I start to make these big movements, there's a change in my breath and in my heart rate. And so inviting it back to, a nice smooth rhythm. So next time you come down, now you're gonna have your hands on either side of your body. The inhale, and you can do the first time with flat feet, and then if you wanna come up onto your toes, go ahead. Inhale, you're gonna take one arm forward, one arm back, and whichever arm is going back, that's where your head is going, right? Inhale, exhale, back to neutral. Inhale, second side. And then again, if you want to come up onto your toes, you can, right? So a lot of times you're probably used to the hands connecting overhead, but right now we're keeping the arms at shoulder height and moving the head. And as always, you're noticing all the wonderful feelings in your body. This will be our last time. So when you finish that second side, you're gonna pause, make sure your breath is still moving. Now is when we're gonna, again, still come up onto the toes if it's safe, and you're gonna meet hands up overhead. Inhale, and your face stays forward. So you're not turning your head now. Inhale is up, opposite arms meet overhead, hands meet overhead, and we alternate sides. So nice, gentle stretches. We're actually doing a lot of work here with the upper body. So one more time. And then you're gonna pause when you finish that second side and roll through your shoulders. And you can do one at a time or both at the same time, whichever helps you to feel better. I like to do a little both. Now you're gonna take your hands onto your thighs whenever you're done rolling the shoulders. Inhale is going to be body up, Exhale, you're gonna come halfway down. And your legs can stay straight or you can bend at the knees. Again, always what works for your body. Inhale is up, exhale halfway down. One more time. Now, when we come down, we're gonna stay in this half forward bend. You're gonna engage those lower abdominals. You might have a slight bend in the knees. Some of you might work with your hands on the wall. So now you're gonna stretch right arm forward, turn the head to the left. Exhale back to center. So we've done this movement 3 times so far today. Actually, 4 if you count the last one standing up. Inhale, arm extends, head turns away. Exhale back to the center. And you notice I have my knees slightly bent, my hands are on my thighs. As I said, if it's causing any of you stress, you could have your hands pressing into the wall, or you could go back to doing this standing up. Never wanting to create more stress in the body. So when you finish your second side, now the inhale is going to be body halfway. So in the half forward bend, exhale into your legs. Inhale halfway up, exhale into your legs. And this is a great time because you probably feel stretch in your back, noticing how your back body is feeling. You might feel it other places too. All right, so next time you come into your legs, we're going to stay in our forward bend, and you're going to step back with your right foot into a nice deep lunge. And some of you might have blocks under your hands. You're going to do what works for your body. And your feet are hip width apart and the legs distance apart. The front knee is over the ankle. So if you find your knee way over your foot, that puts a lot of pressure on your knee. Bring your knee over your ankle. All right, now we're going to engage those legs. So that means isometrically pulling towards one another, hands up onto your thigh. Breathe. Now we're going to take the arms out into like cactus arms. Okay, so inhale is going to be here. Exhale, you're going to straighten the legs, stretch the arms forward. Inhale, exhale. Y'all know this one because I love this move because it does so many things. 2 more times. All right, and now we're going to stay here. Here we are, and you could have that back foot down if it hurts to be up on your toes. Inhale with the elbows open. Exhale, you're going to bring those elbows together. Inhale, open. Exhale, hands, forearms, elbows coming towards one another. Still breathing. Again, if it's too much, step your feet together, do this standing up or sitting down. One more time. Now, when they come together, we're going to keep them together. And you're going to press up. Little pulses up. Keep breathing. Breathe. Don't worry, it's almost over. Not the class. Okay, now we're going to stop. Relax your arms. You're going to take your hands down to the ground, step that back foot forward, and then let's inhale, slide all the way up. And once you come up, roll through those shoulders again. And you're noticing how you feel, reconnecting with that breath. So for some of us, that might have been a little bit stressful or work. You know. All right. So connected to the breath, hands on the thighs, inhale up. Exhale into your forward bend, hands on the blocks or the ground. Step back with your left foot this time. And again, check out everything before you come up, right? Feet hip width apart, legs distance apart, isometrically pulling in, hands up onto your thigh. Connect to your breath. Then we're going to make like cacti. Inhale with the elbows and the knee bent. Exhale, extend. Moving at your own pace with your breath, modifying however you need to. Two more. Now, next time we have our elbows bent. Now, we're going to inhale, elbows open, exhale, forearms, hands, elbows come together. Again, always moving at your own pace. Now, next time, elbows and hands come together, we're going to keep them together, and this is where you're going to pulse up. And they may not connect, that's okay. Keep breathing. And we're going to pause. On the exhale, take your hands down to the ground. Step forward into your forward bend. And we're going to inhale all the way up. One more time, roll through those shoulders and connect with your breath. So now, hopefully everybody's still with me. You're going to have your feet a little bit wider than hip distance, but probably not as wide as your whole mat. Hands on the hips, and we're going to start to make big circles with the hips. And you're still breathing. You could have your knees bent. We're going to pause, go the other direction. And again, we're going to pause and take those arms out to the sides. And now I just want you to do a gentle little twist. If it pulls too much with the arms extended, just take your hands onto your hips. Still breathing. All right, now you're all going to love this. I taught this to my youngest son who's becoming a personal trainer. I was like, people my age don't do jumping jacks. We do yoga jacks. All right, so here we are. We're going to start, and you might be in the middle of your mat the long way. So you two might want to turn around. And what you're going to do is you're going to step out into a wide stance with your arms extended. Let's come up, and then come back to the center. And then second side. Alternate sides. Do you get it? Let's see. So you step out one foot, hands come together overhead. I bend my knees because that feels good in my body. And you're just moving with your breath. What do you think? So no jumping. I know some of you might want to jump. And you can probably feel like your heart rate goes up, your temperature goes up. One more time. And we're going to stop in the center. And again, we're going to roll through the shoulders. You knew that was coming. All right. I'll get to hear how you all think about it after class. Yeah. All right, so now, and you might want to make your way to a wall, depending on your balance day. We're going to take the weight into the left foot, lift up your right knee, and the foot is flexed. And what I want you to do is make nice big circles with your foot a couple times in each direction. Then we'll take that foot down, shift your weight, your balance, lift your second knee up, flex the foot, and again, a couple of circles in each direction, still breathing, and then we'll pause. Now here, you're gonna find your tennis ball, and you might still be near the wall. We're going to take your tennis ball, and of course you can do this without a tennis ball. We're gonna put it under your right heel, smush down. So when we're using the tennis ball, you're still using all 4 points of the foot. So now put all your weight to that right foot, right? You're up on your left toes, and we're just gonna start to pivot that knee. And you're noticing what happens in your hip as you do that. Maybe nothing, maybe a lot. Now, next time your knee is pointing out, you're gonna slide that heel in. Hands can be at your heart center. I realize you can't see my head. Or they can start to raise up overhead. And you might start to slide that foot up your leg. So obviously making our way into tree pose for Shasana. You might extend the arms. If your foot slides, it's okay to lift it back up or keep it down. It's also okay just to keep it on the floor, right? With the heel in. Keep breathing. Now, eventually, we're going to bring the hands back to the heart if they're lifted. Knee forward, foot comes down. Then we're going to shift sides. Put your tennis ball under the left foot. And again, before, I know we're all excited to get into tree, but I want you to just pivot through the right leg first, noticing what happens in your hip. Keep breathing. So also when we start to do things on one foot, some of us hold our breath. It's a pretty common human thing. So just make sure you keep breathing. Knee is pointing out to the side. Slide your heel in, hands at the heart center. Possibly start to slide that foot up and possibly start to bring those arms up in line with the head or ears. The only thing you don't want to do here is press your foot on the knee, right? Because the knee is a hinge joint like the elbows. Okay, keep breathing. Now, whenever you start, yeah, this side is a little bit more challenging. Not sure why. Okay, on an exhale, we're going to start to bring the hands back to the heart center, knee forward, foot comes down. And since we have it here, I can't help but want to do one more thing. You're going to take that tennis ball under the padded part of your right foot. Right, so, and again, ground down through all 4 points. Okay, now here, as soon as I put the tennis ball under the front of my foot, my body wants to go forward, right? But we're going to keep the body upright. Okay, and now what I want you to do is start to lift up your left foot. Right? So, and it's a little bit different, right? Than when we ground down with the heel and the front of the foot. Just breathe, find your balance. Ooh, beautiful. Now, and if you're watching me, I'm wobbling around. So, all right, now we're going to switch sides. So again, tennis ball is under the padded part of the toes. So your heel is on the ground. And then press down. And kind of bend through your knee a little bit in that standing leg. Find your balance. I like to keep my arms out to the side so they can help balance me, like walking on a tightrope. And then explore lifting up your the right knee. Woo. Keep breathing. This would be a great one for holding the breath, right? And we're going to take that foot down. Now, I'm going to squeeze up here to get my other tennis ball. Now you're going to take both tennis balls and put them under the front of both of your feet, right? So heels on the ground, tennis balls on the padded part of the feet about hip width apart, and you're going to bend your knees, right? And so you're kind of going into a chair position, and just kind of notice what's happening in your ankles and your shins, right? Try to press with the front of the foot and the heel and keep breathing. Then you're going to roll to the heels, the tennis ball with the heels. And remember, when the tennis ball's under your heels, you stay off your arches, so you have some yellow sticking out behind your heels. Now we're going to come into a chair position. And again, still weight the front and the back of the foot evenly. Okay, keep breathing. Then we'll come on up. I think we're kind of done with our tennis balls, so we can set them off to the side. We're going to make our way down to the ground. So get yourself some way safely down onto the ground. And if you like padding under your knees, you might have a blanket, or you might fold over the mat or have an extra mat under there. So now we're going to have the heels of the hands slightly in front of the shoulders, knees slightly behind the hips, knee and hip distance apart. Now, what I want you to do, index fingers are pointing forward and your fingers are slightly spread, but not a lot. Now here, I want you to lift up your right leg and flex the foot so the leg is going to stay parallel with the floor, vision towards the ground. And then you're gonna reach that leg out to the side, off the ground, come back to the center, knee comes down, left leg up, foot is flexed, parallel with the floor, out to the side, back to the center, knee comes down. Now we're gonna lift up left arm, head turns away from the arm. I'm working up to something here, you probably know that. Hand down, head back to center, second side. Okay, now we're gonna put some of those things together, okay? The left arm, right leg, head turns away from the arm. Inhale is here. Exhale, hand and knee down into child's pose. Inhale, right arm, left leg, head turns away. Exhale, back to center. And if it's too many things or you don't like it, you just make it work for you. Moving with your breath. And a lot of times when we do this pose, we keep the head pointing towards the ground. But today we're switching it up by turning the head. Now, whenever you finish the second side, we're going to stay down in our child's pose, walk the hands over to the side and shift your hips over to the other side. And if you don't like being on the knees, I didn't say this before, but all of this could be done on your back body, right? Even the extending the arms and the legs. Okay, so you can do it all on your back body. Now we're going to come through the center, do the second side. And don't forget to shift your hips. Keep breathing. And when you're ready, we are going to make our way back to the center, and you're going to sweep your legs around. Now, hopefully everybody has a block. And what we're going to do, we haven't done this pose in a while. So we're gonna do the best that we can because, you know, we only have blocks. So you're gonna place a block under your right sit bone, okay? So just one cheek, okay? And then you're gonna take your left knee down to the ground, your femur, your thigh bone pointing forward, okay? And then you're going to explore straightening out that right leg, okay? And maybe flex the foot. Now, some of you might use a strap around the padded part of the foot. Oh, that's pretty good. All right, so inhale up, exhale forward, okay? And if you find, I'm going to turn to the side for those of you on video, if you find your knee kind of bending backwards here, you're going to keep a little bend, okay? Inhale is up, exhale coming forward. You could be using a strap. You could have blocks under your hands. Again, making it work for you. And last time, we're going to stay forward, right? And as you're forward, I want you to explore pointing and flexing that foot on your straight leg. And notice how it feels as you point and flex that foot. All right, now very carefully. So we came into this pose nice and slowly. We're gonna come out nice and slowly, right? So get rid of the strap, bend your straight leg, bring your other knee out, and then you're gonna switch your block to the second side. Okay. And if you don't have a block, I didn't say this, but you can use the rolled up mat or blankets or, bolsters, sofa cushions. Okay, so again, now you're gonna bend that right knee down, thigh bone straight ahead, possibly start to straighten out your left leg using your strap or not. Inhale up, exhale forward. And there should not be any pain in the hips or the ankles or the knees. Sometimes some of us have tender tops of our feet, and that does not work for us. Sometimes a blanket under that, I just have to close the door. Continuing to inhale up and exhale forward. And the next time that you come to a place where you're forward, I want you to stay forward. Okay, so again, you get yourself in the position, you're continuing to breathe, and then you're going to explore pointing and flexing the foot and noticing how that feels. Like for me, I can feel it in my shin, in my hamstring, even in my hip a little bit. And you're still breathing. And on an inhale, we're going to lift the body, and again, coming out just as slowly. So bending that straight leg, sliding out your other foot. You're going to come off of that block. And now you're going to carefully make your way onto your back body. Okay. So some of you, you'll roll to the side. Some of you will come straight down. You're going to do what works for your body. And let's bring the right knee into the chest. And what I want, like at first, let's make some really big circles with that right knee and leg, a couple of times in each direction. Noticing how your hips are feeling. And we're going to take that foot down and do the same thing on the second side. A few times in each direction. Now, let's have the left foot on the ground with the knee bent. We're going to cross the right ankle over the top of the thigh, and with your leg muscles, you're going to push that right knee away. And then you might have your arms out to the sides. You're going to do what's comfortable. We're going to start to pivot on the left foot and reach your right foot towards the left side of the body. Inhale up, exhale, reach over side. And you could move your head in the opposite direction of the feet if that's appropriate for your body. Inhale is center, exhale is when we twist. And we're not necessarily trying to get that foot down. For some of you, it might come down really easily. And next time you come back to center, you're still using your leg muscles to press that right knee away. We're going to lift the left foot off of the ground. So isometrically now, left thigh into right ankle, and you're pressing your knees away. Still breathing. We're not using our hands here. A lot of times I see people wanting to reach up and grab onto their thigh. I prefer to let the leg muscles do the work. And then very gently placing that left foot on the ground, uncrossing, placing your right foot on the ground, and then we're going to cross the left ankle over the right thigh. Still breathing. And again, you're using your leg muscles to press the left knee away, arms extended out to the side. Inhale, center, exhale, reaching that foot towards the right side, possibly turning your head in the opposite direction. Moving with your breath. This is the part in the class where I'm wondering, did I miss any body parts? Let's see. All right, so next time we come back to the center. And you're going to lift that right foot up. And again, isometrically, right thigh into left ankle. You're still pressing your left knee away using your leg muscles, long, smooth breaths. All right, now we're going to uncross the legs, keep the feet off the ground. Hands are going to be on your knees or your thighs, wherever it's comfortable. And we did this at the very beginning of class with straight legs. So now we're going to do it with our knees bent. So inhale, head on the ground and the body on the ground. Exhale, you're going to pull your head towards your knees, knees towards your head. Inhale, down on the ground. Exhale, in towards the center. Moving with your breath. Again, if it causes you discomfort in the neck, then you just move your knees. All right. Now, after the next time that you inhale and have your body down on the ground, one at a time, let's place those feet down on the ground. And here you might have a block or a blanket or a rolled mat. We're going to lift the hips and place the block underneath the pelvis, and you're going to keep it off your lumbar spine. And today I decided to go on to the second level of the block so that it would help my chest open a little bit more, but you're going to do what works for your body. So opening the chest, bringing the shoulder blades in a little bit. And I want you to allow your hips to be supported as you open up the chest. So our foundation, what's connected to the floor, the feet, the shoulders, the back of the head, long, smooth breaths. And some of you might stay like this. Some of you might want to, one at a time, bring your legs up towards the sky. But we only do that if it enhances the pose, right? So if it feels good to keep your feet on the ground, then you're going to do that. So you decide what works for your body. Notice your breath now and how your body's feeling. So this is the point in the class where I want you to notice, I mean, I always want you to notice how you're feeling, but I want you to notice how you're feeling now. And if there's anything else that your body might need before we start to set up for Shavasana, right? So if you're still up on the block, you might lift up and take that out. And you're going to check in, you know, what do you need? Do you need to hug your knees in? Do you need to do a little twist? Do you need to maybe do some sort of supportive pose? Do you need to put on socks and a shirt? So you're going to do whatever else your body needs. And if you feel done, you'll start to set up for Shavasana. I'm going to get up and just turn the light off. So as you start to get yourself set up, this is again a great time to check in. You know, what What does my body need right now? And then when you're ready, so in Shavasana, Shavasana is final relaxation or corpse pose. So you might lay down with your legs supported or a little support under the neck or your legs up the wall. We'll be here for a little bit, so you want to be really comfortable. Asoma. Amritam Brahmaya. So in your own time, start to bring your awareness back to your breath, your body, and notice how you're feeling. And your body may want to stay on the ground a little bit longer. If that's the case, you honor that. Those of you who want to do a little focus and breathing practice, gently make your way into a seated position. And we'll start by just focusing on the breath. Right, so you're sitting up so that your breath can move easily through your whole body, your breath, your energy, blood. Then you're starting to notice specifically in the nostrils where you feel sensation. Where can you feel the air touching your nostrils? I feel it most on the inhale, so just notice. And you're going to choose one spot where you feel sensation the most of the air passing through the nostrils. And you're going to focus for the next few breaths just on that one spot. And when your brain wants you to change spots, you're not going to, you're just going to stay with that one spot. Just notice if that spot intensifies as you continue to breathe, if it stays the same. Your brain tells you it's lessened, so it's time to move on. Just keep focusing on the spot. It's always interesting. So we focused on that spot depending on when you started for about 2 minutes. And for some of you, it may feel like a really long time, and others like a moment. But this is actually a wonderful practice for developing focus. So like if you have something to do and your mind is scattered, this is a great practice to get you ready to focus. If it's like a thinking thing, something like that. All right, so you can let go of that focus and know that you can always come back to it. And I've been doing this practice for a really long time, and always I go to that same exact spot. I think it's hysterical that it never has changed in all this time. All right, so let's close with some arm movements and some sounds, because that's really good for the head, neck, and shoulders as well. So let's inhale the arms up towards the sky and exhale the sound Q to the heart. Q. Inhaling the arms out to the sides, the sound will be ah to the heart. And inhale, scooping up from the ground, the sound of hold. And I'm really grateful that all of you showed up today and, honor yourself. Like, you showed up, you did something that is wonderful for your mind, your body, and your spirit. And it's also really wonderful for the other people in your life too. Like, for me, it makes me a nicer, gentler person. And I'm assuming it does that for others as well. So thank you for being here, and hopefully I'll see all of you next week. Namaste.